Okay, so good morning everyone. Now we will be talking about depreciation. So right after we have learned annuities, now we are going to know what depreciation is and what are its methods under depreciation. So from the word depreciate, so humaba po yung value, the decrease in value of physical, decrease value in physical property with the passage of time. So within time, for example, you are going to buy some of the machines or the pinaka ano gid na example ani is ng mga materials na or things na uh, dili siya kaayo need sa isa ka tao, like for example iPhones, no? So naga-depreciate ang value over time because naga increase food ang demand or nag-change food ang demand in technology. That's why nag-depreciate. Like for example, cars, no? Ano sila mga nag-depreciate, ng mga values nag-depreciate, mga machines. So, we also have this term in depreciation in which we call the book value, which is the property or the worth of property as shown on the accounting records of an enterprise. So, kani pong salvage or resale value or the salvage value is the price that can be obtained from the sale of the property after it has been used. So let's say for example, na kay iPhone, and then kana si iPhone, gibaligya nimo siya with the salvage value of, palit mo ang first cost ana is 50,000. Then, ang salvage value niya after 3 years, nalag mga 30,000. So, man ang salvage value or resale value niya na nag-depreciate over years. So, we also have this what we call scrap value, which is the amount of property would sell if disposed of as junk. So, mga things na di na magamit, like na may nagapalit o mga cellphone na useless na gid siya. So, it's a junk. So, you can sell it like mga 1,000, 2,000, mga nabuak na phones or something. So, mana siya mga scrap value. So, in depreciation class, we have this formula, BVM. BVM. So, BVM is equal to FC minus DM, in which BVM there is the book value, take note, the book value of a property at any time. So, kana si book value kaganina, giingnan nato na the worth of property. So, si book value is the worth of property, no? As shown on the accounting records of an enterprise. So, si book value, mana siya si BVM. Si FC is the first cost, and si DM is the total depreciation of a property at any time. And so, the total depreciation daw at any time. For example, B, or the depreciation at 5 years. Mana sila. Now, in depreciation, we also have this, what we call DL, or the total depreciation of its useful life. So, for example, depreciation, na-use mo siya for 5 years. So, pila ang total depreciation niya. No, mo na siya. And we have also the SB or salvage value or the scrap value. So, mali sila mga formulas that you need to remember in depreciation. Okay? So, in depreciation, there are methods. No? So, ang first method na itong i-discuss karon would be the straight line method. So, unsa man na si straight line method? So, in depreciation, a straight line method is a method which assumes that the loss, okay, ang nawala na value is directly proportional to the age of the property. So, ang value na nawala daw is proportional sa age sa property. Like, for example, 5 years. So, proportional siya, ang nawala na value is proportional sa 5 years na imong property. So, nanalay niyang interpretation. So, in straight line method, we are going to need this formula. So, D1, the depreciation 1, in 1 year, 2 years, M, L, so useful life niya, which is M, and L, which is L is the useful life and M is the years, number of years at any time. So, kani, makita na to mga formulas. We have D is equal to FC, which is the first cost, minus the salvage value divided by the useful life in years. So, nakuha na to si depreciation at any year. So, si DM karon is the total depreciation. That's why it's big letter. It's because it's total depreciation of a property at any time. M. So, si M nato dira is the number of years. I-multiply nato siya sa depreciation, which is ang D. Now we also have the DL. So DL from the word L, useful, DL, total depreciation at the end of its useful life. So L nato dira kung pila ka years na gamit or useful ang ato ang machine, product, or anything. And ang D nato diha, which is the depreciation at any year. So L nato is useful life in years. So mo na sila itong mga formulas that we really need to remember in straight line method. So in straight line method, we have 4 examples. Now we are going to understand kung saan sila pag-solve one by one. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, a machine has an initial cost of 50,000 and a salvage value of 10,000 after 10 years. So 50,000 yung initial cost, okay? Tapos later on, pag 10 years sa machine, nahimo na lang ang 10,000 yung value. Nag-depreciate yung value. So using straight line method of depreciation, unsa ang annual depreciation? So from 50,000, pila yung annual depreciation after 10 years na nag 10,000 na lang siya. And nakabalo lang man ta, 10,000 siya after 10 years, pero nag-depreciate siya annually og pila, mo ang question. So what is the annual depreciation? So we have this formula earlier in the straight line method in which we have the given. So ang given nato diha natay first cost, which is the 50,000. So given nato, mo gyud yung pinakauna na mag-solve ta. So given is 50,000, which is the first cost. And we also have the salvage value, which is the 10,000. And the L, for the useful life after 10 years. So mga siya ito ang L. So what is the annual depreciation? So again, the formula for defining the depreciation is FC minus SV all over L. So that is 50,000 minus 10,000 all over 10, no? Atong L. So therefore, atong depreciation would be equal to 4,000 pesos. So, mo ni siya atong depreciation. So, mo na to answer for letter A. Okay? Now, the question for letter B is, what is the book value after 5 years? So, ang book value daw na formula, di kaganina, was BVM is equal to FC minus CM. So, in depreciation, mo gini siya ang formula. We are going to be using this in any kinds of methods. Okay? So, BVM is equal to FC minus DM. So, let's try to solve. BVM, so after 5 years, so BV at 5 years is equal to FC, the first cost, minus DM, and ang DM nato again is the total depreciation of a property at any time. So, class, wala ta kabalo unsa si DM, right? DM is still not yet known. Wala ta kabalo sa total depreciation at of the property at M. So, pangitawon sa nato si DM, no? So, unsa si DM? So, DM, D at 5 years, right? So, DM is equal to M times the depreciation, in which you already have the value of depreciation. So, DM or DM is 5 times 4,000 pesos. So therefore, ang atong DM karon is 20,000. Okay? So nanatay first cost, nanatay DM, no? So therefore, we can already find the first cost, the book value after 5 years, no? So the book value after 5 years is equal to 50,000 atong first cost minus 20,000, which is ang atong DM. Therefore, ang ato ang BV at 5, or the book value at 5 years, is equivalent to 30,000 pesos. And that is your final answer. Yes. Alright? So that's the book value at 5 years. Now, let's talk about letter C. What is B, or the total depreciation after 3 years? So, unsa man ang total depreciation after 3 years? So, mo na itong useful life in years, which is C. So, atong ginapangita for the letter C is the total depreciation after 3 years. DL is equal to L times D. So DL na to karon is, what is our L? That's 3 years, right? Times atong depreciation, which is 4,000. So DL is just equivalent to 12,000 pesos. And that is your final answer. Okay, and that is for number 1 example for straight line method. Now, let's go on with, I think, a little bit difficult, no, average. So, an engineer bought an equipment for 500,000 pesos. He spent an additional amount of 30,000 for installation and other expenses. So, tana pa lang, magbuhat na taog given with those words na giingon sa problem. So, ano siya, nagpalit daw equipment si engineer. So, 500,000 yung gipalit na equipment. Tapos, napa may installation and other expenses. So, appeal gyapon siya sa ato ang first cost, no? So, therefore, ang ato FC karon diha is 530,000. So, the salvage value is, so natay, gibutang po niya ang salvage value daw is 10% of the first cost. So, 530,000 times 0.1, that's 10%, right? So, that is 53,000 ang atong salvage value karon, 53,000 pesos. So, if the book value at the end of 5 years, so given po ang BVM, it's 291,500 pesos. Using straight line depreciation. So, now that the book value is data depreciation, compute the life of the equipment. Oh, so life of the equipment is ang number of years, no? Life of the equipment. So, di ba natay formula class na D is equal to FC minus SE all over L. Diba? So, kano itong ginapangita karon? However, ang given is FC, SB, walay D, walay L. Walay depreciation, walay L. So, ang atong buhaton karon, we are going to look for some other formulas to find the depreciation. Okay? So, unsa ka na ito pagpangita si depreciation? So, we have this formula class. Remember the formula? The total depreciation is the number of years times the depreciation. Depreciation. So, DM is equal to N times D. Ganun ka naman natong ipangita kasi later on, since wala ta kabaloon sa si D, wala po ta kabalo si DM, pero kabalo ta na ay M. Diba? So, ang formula ni DM, okay, still two unknowns, diba? DM equals MB. So, karon, in depreciation, di ba natin formula, recall this one. The book value is FC minus BVM. Di ba? So, therefore, mo na siya itong gamito na formula for this kind of problem. So, karon, BVM is equal to, isa ba? Sorry. Sige, BVM is equal to FC minus DM ba to? Tama ba akong formula? BVM is equal to FC minus DM? Yes. Tapos, karon atong transpose. So, may mong DM equals, okay, still two unknowns man two unknowns. So, dili ta magkuha, DM is equal to FC minus BVM. Ito lang i-transpose, no? So, therefore, natay DM is equal to, so gamiton natin siya na formula later, is equal to 530,000 minus ang BVM na after 5 years, that's 291,500. So, atong DM karon is, hold on. That is 238,500 pesos. So, nanatay DM, nanatay M. Therefore, we can get the D sa wakas. Para ano na to siya diri. So, DM karon is equal to, that's 238,500 is equal to M sa atong M, 5, times D na to. So, makuha na to si depreciation. That's 238,000 divided by 238,500 divided by 5. So therefore, our D is 47,700 pesos. Okay? So now, since we already have the D, we already have the FC, we already have the SV, so we can get the L, or the life of the equipment in terms of years. So D, or 47,700, is equal to, what's your FC gani? 530,000 minus sa ato ang SV, or the salvage value, that's 53,000 all over L. So using our calculators, 530,000 minus 53,000 divided by 47,700, that is L, is equivalent to 10 years. This is your final answer. Diba? So in problems like this, we need to know how to manipulate variables. A very important siya na skill in engineering economy. So let's try to solve number 3. So number 3 in the straight line method. So number 3, it's saying na there is a machine which costs 10,000. No? 10,000 ang cost sa machine. It was sold as scrap. Sold as scrap after being used for 10 years. So na the machine na 10,000 niya, gibaligya siya og scrap after 10 years, in which 500 pesos na lang na-depreciate siya into 500 pesos. So we are going to determine the total depreciation at the end of 5 years. So unsa ang total depreciation at the end of 5 years? So ang problem number 3 is looking for DL, no? Question mark. So the total depreciation at the end of 5 years. So karon, we have the first cost given. So ang first cost na to, 10,000 pesos. Tapos, natay L, which is 10 years. Okay. Then, scrap value, which is 500 pesos na lang. Okay. So, okay. The question is the total depreciation at 5 years. So, DL at M is equal to 5. So, karon, natay formula na DL, di ba? DL, or the total depreciation of its useful life in years, is equal to L times D, in which L is the total number of years, right, in which nagamit siya. Pero, since we are looking for DL as at M is equal to 5, so we can change, actually, no, walang problema. We can change L as M, which that's still the number of years. So, we are going to solve for D, no? So, kay wala pa man takabaloon sa si D, sa man ang formula sa D, di ba? Remember that D is, so we are going to use this formula later on. So, D is equivalent to natay 10,000, which is the first cost, minus the salvage value, which is 500, divided by the useful life in years, which is 10. Okay, di man nato makuha si DL class, kaya naman si D, so pangitan sa nato si D. So 9,500 divided by 10, that is 950, and that is our D. So therefore, we can now use DL, or we can now find DL as number of years, which is 5, times the D, which is 950. So the DL is just equivalent to 4,750 pesos. Okay, so that's for number 3. Now number 4. See, number 4 is an equipment has a salvage value of 1 million at the end of 50 years. So salvage value niya is 1 million at 50 years. So 50 years, saka ni kamahal, no, katong 50 years ago. So that's straight line depreciation charge is at 2 million. So ang question na kung gingin ganina, unsa siya kamahal katong first niya pagpalit. So the first cost of the machine. So again, in order for us to find the answers, no, in examples, one in the example, so we are going to look for the given. Unsa ka ang mga given diyan nato diha? So ang given is we have the salvage value, which is the 1 million pesos. We have L, ito nagamit siya for 50 years. No? We also have the depreciation, which is 2 million pesos. So first cost, question mark. So sa A, first cost is question mark. So, sa'yo na kayo siya, kaya naman tayo salvage value, na tayo L, na tayo depreciation, yan natin formula na D is equal to FC minus salvage value or SVO over L. So that's 2 million. FC nato is question mark. So FC minus the salvage value, which is 1 million, all over L, which is 50 years. So this is 100 million equals FC minus 1M. So, transpose na to. So, natin 101 million na first cost. Diba? Imagine. Muna ang first cost sa machine, 101 million. And after 50 years, it depreciated into 1 million pesos only. So, that's for letter A. For letter B, the question is saying to find the book value, no, after 25 years. So, the book value after 25 years, si B. So, PV 25 plus question mark. So, at BV25, di ba natin formula na first cost minus the PM or the depreciation total at any year. So, wala man tayo DM. Ang atong given lang is FC. So, pangitaon sa nato si DM. Remember na ang formula for DM is just M times D. So, nanatay depreciation, which is 2 million, and napot tayo M, which is 25 years. So, 25 times, sa itong tiga ni, 2 million. So, our DM is just equivalent to 50 million pesos. So, our BV or the book value after 25 years would be equivalent to first cost, which is 101 million minus 50 million. So, atong BV or the book value after 25 years is just 51 million pesos. Okay? So, that's for letter B. And for letter C class, question is, at what year will its total depreciation be 30M? Oh, so, unsa na year maging 30M ang value niya na, di ba, 101M siya nag-start. So, unsa na year sa mahimong 30 million only? Kaya 50 years, 1M na lang man siya. So, unsang year ang 30M? Di ba? Ana lang yung interpretation. So, we have this formula, DL, useful life in year, which is L times D. So, DL na to is, the total depreciation man daw is 30 million. Tapos ang atong L is ano, kaya mo man ang ginapangita, and then ang atong D or depreciation nato is 2M. Straight line depreciation is 2M. So, saan yung 30M? Okay, so 30M divided by 2M, that's 15 is equal to L, or in the 15th year, dito naging 30M ang value sa machine. So, that's it for the straight line method in depreciation. So, I hope you have learned something for today's video. Please do ask questions if you have any. And these plates na akong i-post will be will be posted rather in the Blackboard element. So, thank you so much for listening again and watching. Thank you.